Hey guys, April here from Inside Outside, Rebels Against the Norm, and I am here without Liberty, which is a little bit sad because it'd be awesome, but some really cool news about Liberty. And if you're wondering who Liberty is, if you're brand new, she is the co-author of the book that we wrote, and she's also an amazing person, but she volunteers at the prison when she can. A lot of awesome stuff. But what's really cool is that she just was able to, she had a coffee shop in this, they call it the train wreck. And it's these 4 train cars that are like on this boardwalk thing in Seward, right on the harbor. And so she had hers and it had a coffee shop in it. And then there was one that was up over here and it had like, I don't know, something where they did excursions and stuff off in the wilderness. And then there was one that was actually a really good restaurant, but they're not going to be there anymore. And then a bike shop. And the lease came up on those and she ended up buying the train wreck. So that's super awesome. Very excited for her. And now she's still going to be very involved in all of this. So don't think she's not. It's just that we wanted to get her on Zoom quicker, but she's got some things going on. So you are again stuck with me, and also we will not be having these long pauses in between the videos anymore. I was kind of trying to figure some stuff out and thinking about some things, working on some marketing things, just a lot of different stuff. But back at it, this is super important to both Liberty and I, as well as Nick, who is still in prison. But yeah, we have a lot to share with you guys. And Liberty should be joining us soon. But yeah, we are back on track again. I thought we were earlier, but we'd just gotten here and there was some stuff that we needed to kind of get worked out and dealt with, and not anything bad, by the way. It's all good stuff. It's all amazing stuff. But I was wondering if you guys could do us a big favor, and that is if you have read our book, our prison story, written by me, April McCurdy, Nicholas Showers Glover, and Liberty Miller. If you have read this book and you liked it, please go to Amazon and put a review in there. We want to get this message out to people. We want to get it to where, Amazon will push things more, the more that there's good reviews and stuff like that, the more stars, all that stuff, they'll begin to push it. And our goal is to get the message to everyone out there that prison reform is not, it's difficult, but it's not this impossible thing that's going to take so much money that we could never do it. No, we have some solutions right in this book, and it comes from not just me. I was a correctional officer for 14 years. Does not mean I know everything, but I do know that there's a lot of BS that people are told about the prison system, about, oh, you just can't change. Oh, these people are different from these people over here. Oh, this. Okay, stop with the excuses. Let's get rolling with the solutions. Let's go. If you don't like ours, come up with your own. But we're just sitting here. Not all of us are sitting here, but there's people that are just sitting there throwing out excuses. Can't do this, can't do that. Anyway, we want to get the message out there. So if you've read this, please go on Amazon, do a review. That would be great. If you haven't read this, please go on Amazon and pick this up. Tell your friends about it. And then if you like it, go ahead and do a review. That would be awesome. It's important. It's important that we get this out to everyone. That being said, I wanted to kind of discuss law enforcement today because right now that's kind of a touchy subject. You've got just so much happening in the world, especially the US right now with law enforcement, in the way that a lot of law enforcement is looked at. And here's the thing, in every group of people, you're going to have people who are there to help and try and do good things and be there for people. And then you're going to have the people that are not there to help, that are power hungry, that are, I don't know, looking to feed their ego, whatever it is, or that are cruel. I mean, I'm sure that you have, just like you have in the prison system, you have sociopaths. I'm sure that in the world of law enforcement, there are sociopaths. So what I wanted to kind of talk about was the fact that when it comes to being in positions of power, and law enforcement is definitely power, it's so much in how you use it. I can tell you right now that from my experience and from the experience of the other two authors, we've all seen both sides of good law enforcement, negative law enforcement. Now, I will throw out there, I'm white. I'm pretty sure you know that, but I'm white. I never grew up with the idea of being scared of, oh, there's a police car. Now I gotta walk a certain way and make sure they know I'm not gonna do anything. I never even, that never crossed my mind. So there is some understanding that I don't necessarily have, that comes with being a different race and having to deal with that. So in order to keep this real, which is what I want to do, I want to be very transparent and keep everything just above board. And that is, I understand completely if you're, especially a Black young male, you may feel a little bit differently about law enforcement driving down the street. Me, oh, hi, you know, I never really thought of it. A different thing with different races and different cities and different places and, you know, things like that. But I find it interesting because it's on everybody kind of to fix this issue. But it's certainly on law enforcement to make sure that we're coming in with the attitude, I say we, but I'm not law enforcement anymore. If a correctional officer is law enforcement. And I think they are in some, at least in the prison, they're law enforcement. Outside of the prison, they're the same as anybody else. In the prison, they're enforcing the rules of the prison. And I hope that nobody thinks that I'm ashamed that I was a correctional officer. I'm not ashamed that was a correctional officer. I am not happy that I bought into what I was shown that a correctional officer was supposed to do and be like, and how to hold people at that huge distance because they're prisoners. They're felons. Once a felon, you don't mess with them. And that's kind of shameful to me because that's not me, and I knew it wasn't me, and yet it was just so like right there. It's what everybody did. If you had to touch a prisoner, you put on gloves. You don't want and seeing them out on the street, that's you try not to. If you are, you make sure you're carrying. It's just, and how you treat them. They'll never be your friends. They should never, ever be your friends. Well, that depends on how strong you are. If they can't be your friends because you're afraid that you might then enter a life of crime, okay, cool. You're right. They should never be your friends. And maybe there's some stuff you need to work on. But if you can't hold anyone who's ever been in prison as your friend, then, again, there's got to be some stuff you need to work on because I never once wavered in my thought process of, okay, I'm going to mentor these guys. I'm going to help them out. I'm going to actually put a vested interest into their, I guess, reform, if you want to call it, into their getting off of drugs, into their entering society and being successful, into their education, into all of that. When you put that vested interest into there. It means so much more, and they see it, they feel it, they know it, and you can go so much further. But there was never once in that time of dealing with prisoners, or since I've been a correctional officer, that I've ever thought, maybe selling drugs would be a good idea. Maybe I should go rob a store. I need some money. Or anything like that. No, that's ludicrous. It's ridiculous. Now, for those people who say, well, you should never trust them because what? You don't know the people that you're standing next to in line at Walmart, at the bank, well, depending on what town you live in, but go into a big town or any, travel. You don't know who you're dealing with, and you have to trust people at some point. You have to trust. If you're back at, what are you going to walk around and be all like this with your guns drawn? You can't do that. It's ridiculous. And quite honestly, if you can't figure out by reading people, this is one of the things that I was so frustrated with, is I was like, I've been working here, and at this time it was like, for 10 years when I had this conversation with someone. It's like, I've been working here 10 years. If after 10 years I can't figure out who is purely trying to manipulate me, and who is purely wanting to change, and who's in the middle of still stuck on some of those manipulation things because that's been their life, but they're actually trying. If I can't figure that out, I should not have this job. So it just really, it's interesting to me that people are so scared, so afraid that they might be manipulated. Yep, you might. You probably got manipulated into the price you paid for your vehicle, because I'm sorry, but most of the time you don't get the best deal. They're going to make you think you did. I mean, there's manipulation that goes on everywhere. You manipulate people, and we do it out of all kinds of different reasons and things. But if you want to act like prisoners and people who have been to prison are not your problem, and they should just be treated like crap, and you should never form any sort of bond with them, well, that's why we're where we're at. That's why we are where we're at. Because why should they care about what you say if they know you don't care about them? So the same goes with law enforcement, as far as there are people that are really good officers who go into different communities and different, even the rougher parts of different towns, different cities, but they know the people because they have a vested interest in, I want to help society. I want to help these people. I want this community to be safer. And you don't do that with a huge hands-off approach. You do that by getting in there, getting to know people. Driving down the street, you see someone that needs something. Oh, Miss, I don't know, Yates, just the first name that popped into my head, is 70 years old, and she's carrying these bags of groceries. Hey, Miss Yates, let me help you. Whatever. There's so many examples where law enforcement has done really good things like that. They're helping the kids in the community. They spend their weekends or evenings out playing basketball or being big brothers or whatever it is. Those people are amazing. They're amazing, and I give you all credit. I think you're awesome, and you're going to be part of the change that happens wherever you are. Then you have the people that are all about power and that are narcissistic, that are, I don't know, that think they're better than other people. Those are the people that cause the problems. They're the ones that cause the problems where I used to work at the prison. Everybody knew which officers, which sergeants, which lieutenants, which whoever that worked at the prison. Everybody knew who to stay away from because they weren't there to help them. It wasn't, oh man, I messed up and now I gotta look someone in the eye. It wasn't that kind of stay away from. It was, they are bad news. It doesn't matter. They do everything they can to find something wrong. Stay away from them. That kind of short-sighted, power-hungry, egotistical, narcissistic belief system and idea of how to treat human beings is sickening. It really is. I'm going to do everything I can to find everything wrong. Ooh, if I can take something, I'm going to take something. Oh, those shoes aren't yours? Hey, I don't care that it's, 5 degrees outside, slushy wet, and you borrowed someone's boots. I don't care that they're in the mud. Give me those. And the joy that you watch, that I would see on their face as they take those shoes. Because, hey, technically we can. Those kind of people who would come in the office after tearing down a prisoner in front of other prisoners. Like, yeah, told that guy. And it's no wonder that you better watch your back everywhere you go, even out at the, go to the big city or go anywhere, and you better not run into them because, you were an asshole. But it's their problem. Well, they shouldn't be in prison. Okay, cool. That's a whole nother topic. There's lots of topics. But my point is this. Not all law enforcement is like that. And the ones that drive those of us who were law enforcement or are law enforcement crazy. Because when you can mentor people and they listen to you, and when they don't want to meet your eye, because it's like, man, McCarty, I really messed up. I know that you saw that I got a write-up and I was doing this and I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been. That right there, that's a respect that those officers that are on the other side of the line, they will never get. They will never get. All they will get is the fear respect. And we all see what happens in the end with fear respect. At some point, that hold breaks. But I believe there's a lot of good people out there. And if you stand up against those that are power hungry and all of the other, if you stand up against that idea and you be who you are and you mentor and you help and you reach out and you decide I have a vested interest in what I'm doing in my community, in the mod that I'm working, in the prison block, in the whatever part of law enforcement that you're working in, you're going to make a change and people are going to respect you out of respect. So I think it's very important to note there's good, there's not so good, but don't paint them all with a brush, one big brush. Nobody likes to be painted with one big brush. Oh, everybody's this, everybody's that. So that's my, my rant for today, I guess. I also wanted to do a shout out to a guy named Sparky Lee. He has posted in our group, the McCarty, sorry, my internet is being a little weird at the moment, and that's really interesting. Anyway, the McCarty reentry or vision and reentry Facebook group that we have. So he has put some videos in there, and he is about he's about helping out people that get out of prison, about all of that kind of stuff. Counseling for families, offenders, and community, drug, alcohol awareness, youth diversion, life coaching, prison reentry education, all that stuff. So he's just gone through a rough time. They had a fire where they lived, as far as over in California, dealt with a lot of stuff there. He was just a lot of stuff that has gone on, and then he keeps getting back up. Yes, he was in prison before. He keeps getting back up, and he's just starting a new job. That's awesome. Super happy for him. But I wanted you to just, if you see his videos on our page, give him some love. Maybe start following him. That'd be awesome. So just wanted to kind of put a plug in for him. And thank you guys so much for being here. If you like what we're about, if you like the vision we have, if you find me entertaining at all. Whatever it is, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when we put up, and yes, we will be putting up more videos. It's super appreciated. Again, it pushes our message out there even more. And I will put the link to our book and some other things below, our Facebook, our Instagram, all of that. I'll put that below. Thank you so much for watching and following us. We appreciate it. And we will see you next time.